What is going on? Brian Carroll here, powerxstrength.com HQ, coming to you from beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. Today, I'm going to answer a question I've been getting a lot through email and inboxes on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Do I currently coach powerlifters? What am I doing a lot of right now as far as my coaching and consulting? I don't coach a lot of powerlifters right now. The only ones that I coach are hand selected, either people I really enjoy working with or people that I see have a lot of potential in their future. And some of them are both that I see have a lot of potential and people I really like. A couple people that I'm working with now that are equipped powerlifters, actually three. And it helps that they're in overkill gear because then I can work directly with Rudy and help dial them in, because there's no one better out there and helping someone dial in their gear than Rudy Rosales with Overkill Strength. He's also cut into his lead time and getting your gear out for you quick. So anyone out there considering buying Overkill gear, 100% suggest you get your gear from him, but you order your knee wraps and wrist wraps from me at powerxstrength.com. So with that said, I work with Leah, a girl named Leah right now. I'm consulting her. I consult Derek, Wade, and I work with Ant Tabaka. I work with these three people right now, and I consult them. I don't hold their hand with programming. I give them parameters. I tell them what I think they should do, and I kind of stay hands off with a lot of stuff. What I do mainly is give them parameters on what I think they should do and look at their form and make sure they have certain boxes checked in their programming, especially core work, good form, programming that isn't going to break them apart. I just started working with Leah on this with a little bit of stuff. I've been working with Ant for a while and Derek for a while now. Actually, Derek for almost a whole year and Ant for over a year. So I hand select people that I work with powerlifting, but for the most part, I'm kind of hands off with powerlifters these days. But what I do is I use something I learned from Dave Tate about 10 years ago. And Dave had a talk with me and we talked about other powerlifters and what's necessary for powerlifters when they're advanced. Powerlifters that are advanced, they don't need programming, they need coaching. So that's why I provide the parameters and give them advice, because if you don't want to do some crazy shit every once in a while or have an inclination to do something silly, I don't think you're going to be great. You have to have a little bit of a give and take with your ego. You've got to be able to believe in yourself, but also I'm there for you to bounce ideas off of and to make sure that your goals are realistic and to make sure that the risk isn't more than the reward. This is key. Sometimes you're going to want to do foolish stuff, and you're going to need to do foolish stuff at times, but you got to pick the right times to do it, especially if you want to hit monster lifts. So most advanced lifters don't need programming. They know what works for them. I just like to keep them from themselves. A lot of people aren't going to want this. That's why I don't work with a lot of lifters. So that's where I come in. A lot of younger lifters also, why I don't consult a lot of lifters, is because younger lifters don't give a shit about your wisdom and your experience. Oh, you lifted an equipment, or you did this, or you did that. Not to mention that I hit 15 years straight of top 5 totals all time, year after year at 220, 242, 275, year in and year out. Most of the time, top 1 and 2 totals as far as the yearly ranking, and all time top 2 totals for 275 and 242 for a very long time. So it's just one of those things. A lot of people don't know the history of the sport. They think just because you coach equipped lifting or lifted equipped that you can't coach raw lifters, and that's very far from the truth, because if you can't squat with good form outside of gear, there's no way you're going to be able to hit big numbers in the gear, and that's why we always start with raw. Everyone that I start their squat with is with a goblet squat or a broomstick, and then we build from there. If they're raw, we add knee wraps or knee sleeves and build from there. If they're equipped, once they master the form in just a belt and knee sleeves, then we add briefs, then we add a suit, wraps, so on and so forth. So those are my thoughts on who I work with and why. Most of the people that I work with now are back clients. I work with people all over the board. Some of them are average Joes. Some are royalty. Some are politicians. Some are pro athletes in the UFC, Major League Baseball, NFL, NHL, NBA. It really just depends. I work with fire, police, military, and even special forces clients that I have right now getting ready for selection or going to buds. A lot of them have back issues that I'm working with. They're trying to get ready for the next level or recover to get back in. There's a lot of people that I work with now, and that's kind of where I've honed in my craft and where the lion's share of my work comes in. So I do work with people both online and in person, back consulting. I've been doing this for a very long time. As most of you know, I've learned from the very best in Dr. Stuart McGill. I'm McGill certified for the state of Florida. I'm the McGill provider for Florida, and I'm here in Jacksonville. So anyone out there that's dealing with back issues, lower back issues, the first thing I do is suggest checking out Gift of Injury and Back Mechanic. Back Mechanic is going to give you the blueprint on how to identify your pain cause and remove it, and then continue on with building pain-free capacity. This is imperative. This is imperative. You've got to remove the cause. Gift of Injury takes the algorithms and the components of Back Mechanic, and it tells the story of me having success, hurting my back, getting back to the platform after I took a year off and did everything that Dr. McGill said, and that included taking time off from lifting. A lot of people think they can do some reverse hypers and mitigate their back pain, or they can sprinkle in the McGill Big 3 and eliminate their back pain. The caveat is sometimes people can do that if they have a little bit of a flare-up and they can continue on. But if you have flare-up after flare-up after flare-up and your back pain, your capacity and your back pain expands and your capacity bleeds, when I say bleeding capacity, that means that you go from only having pain when you lift heavy, to having pain when you lift light weights, to having pain when you do daily tasks, to having pain when you do anything. It gets worse and worse as you get more sensitized and more sensitized, and then your bleeding capacity where you can't even sit for 5 minutes. We don't want you to get to that point. You need to nip it in the bud before that happens. That's why just telling someone to do the Big 3 without an assessment, or doing the reverse hypers without an assessment, is careless and reckless. So it isn't just about me wanting to get on a call with you and taking your money. It's about me trying to help you instead of throwing exercises at you that can actually do you more harm than good. Think about all the people that you know that have been to chiropractors and physical therapists. They only spend 10 or 15 minutes with somebody. They give them a couple exercises. They can't provide a thorough assessment, understand their pain generators, and build them homework to do when they leave. It's just a couple minutes of stretching, some manual therapy and such, and then they're gone. I need to spend time with you, 30 minutes to start, an hour to start. And when I do my in-person assessments, they're 3 to 4 hours minimum. We cover everything, injury mechanisms. We do thorough assessment and testing. I teach you how to do the exercises that you'll be doing going forward. And then I provide you a plan going forward of how to progress. So keep this in mind. You can't just always solve back pain from taking a week or two off, doing the Big 3, doing some stretching, reverse hyper. We know that stretching is thrown out there in physical therapy, chiropractic all the time, and for most people, it's not going to help their low back pain. Occasionally someone that has some tight muscles, it might help them, but if you found that you're stretching right now and you're still lifting and your back pain has not went away, it's not very uncommon. It's not very uncommon at all. Reach out to someone in your area that's a McGill clinician, an expert, and get on a call with them and help you navigate your pain. So that's what I do now. That's how I make my living, consulting people online and in person. I love doing it because I've lived it. I understand how bad back pain can be. It can sap your zest for energy or for life. It stinks. Reach out to someone, get some help, take some time off, and get your back healed up. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now these days. That's what I've been up to. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.